Patrick Mueller is joining me, RFC and president of Bella Advisors. So glad you're with us. Look, we're getting a lot more on deals. We've heard a little bit about China, Russia, Canada, EU, Japan, Philippines, and more. The president's been very busy. Do we feel that things are going in the right direction?
Nice to be with you, Nicole. And I think we are going in the right direction. There's quite a lot of negotiations that have been happening this year, and we've had quite a bit of turmoil in the markets, but you're starting to see, we had all these knee-jerk reactions at the beginning of the year with all the tariff talks, and basically what was happening is Trump was just coming out with the reciprocal tariffs, and the markets didn't like it. And so now that they've been going on to the negotiating table, I mean, having a 50% tariff on China, I mean, that's huge, right? And we basically are very close to zero. And then we've got a lot of companies that are coming back into the country now. We've got Apple bringing $500 billion back into the country. We've got, Taiwan Semiconductors coming back, Hyundai building plants, GE moving from China back to Kentucky. I mean, there's a lot of amazing things that are really happening, but we're gonna feel some pain here in the near future from that when it comes to inflation and different aspects of pricing. And so we can expect some turmoil as we've got this August 1st tariff date coming up.
Understood. I mean, look, when we look at the S&P, 63.93 was the high today. We're right around there at this moment. We're here and hitting all-time highs. And the NASDAQ, too. I mean, how about a name like NVIDIA? Is there more room for these kinds of names to continue to the upside? I mean, maybe you don't really have resistance.
I think that there is. A company like NVIDIA, right now, they're valued so much and it's such a big piece of the S&P right now that it's 37% of the S&P. So it's affecting the trajectory of the S&P so much. So people might be a little bit more overweighted, or maybe they should be a little bit more concerned if there's a downturn in big mega cap companies like that. But I think long term, betting on NVIDIA and AI, I mean, it's going to be such a momentum moving forward. It's going to be hard to keep up with it, I think. And I think that's where we see the biggest moves in tech is those companies that are really holding on to the AI and driving that forward.
Yeah, I mean, you did note it's okay to take some profits. I mean, you used Warren Buffett as your reference, right?
Love me some Warren Buffett, and he rarely gets it wrong. But he's sitting on over $300 billion in cash. And you got to pay attention to that. And we're not done with this volatility yet. Things are very overpriced right now. And at some point, there's going to be a pullback. We're going to see it. I'm not a doom and gloom guy by any means. And I think it's more on the short term of things. Long term, over the next 2-3 years, I think we're going to be doing great. But it's like an aircraft carrier. It takes time to turn that ship. And we're going to be heading into some choppy waters, especially as we come up to this tariff date in August. But long term, I think things are going to be going really well. But people need to expect a pullback. Don't get too cozy yet.
Right, and you are sort of concerned. I mean, there are some things that are red flags to you. For example, the credit card debt.
Credit card debt, nobody's talking about it, and I'm wondering why. Why is nobody talking about this? It's so crazy because credit card debt is at all-time highs in history, and you have companies like DoorDash and a lot of other companies that are starting to finance their purchases. So people are financing their fast food. So either one, are people really that out of it to finance their food, or are people just struggling so much to try to keep up with inflation because the price of everything has pretty much doubled over the last few years just to try to keep their head above water. So I think people really need to start paying attention to this bubble, because at a certain point it's going to pop, and we need to understand how that's going to affect things.
Yeah, how about the dollar? I'm looking at it right now at 97.44, and there's been so much talk about crypto and digital assets and such, but the stable coins are tied to the U.S. dollar. How do you feel about the U.S. dollar and crypto?
Long term, I think that the dollar is going to rebound and it's going to start revaluing. It's been getting beaten up here recently, and that's why you see so much of a drive towards gold. And as much debt as we're stacking up, people are moving into tangible assets that they can count on. So that's why I think you're seeing a big move towards different types of cryptocurrencies, whether it be Bitcoin or stablecoin. And I think we're going to start seeing a drive to that as there's a lot of this fear and uncertainty with the dollar. But I think as things start smoothing out around the globe and the tariff talks and the fear kind of comes down a little bit, I think we'll start seeing that trailing off.
And so when you look at specific names, I mean, you're talking about different things where people are using, buy now, pay later, DoorDash you had on the list, and then you're watching some of the tech names like Microsoft and Alphabet, and then you talked about Visa and Berkshire. Any of those specific stories that you could touch on, Patrick?
Well, I like Berkshire and companies like that are very big, very stable. We can close our eyes, and 5 years from now, we know it's going to have done well during that period of time. As we're going through times of uncertainty and turbulence, I like those things. I like those consumer staples. Companies like Walmart and Target, where people are going to be using these services no matter what. Amazon will probably be doing good. Maybe not so good depending on a lot of the tariff things that shake out, but those are the companies that I like, that are very strong, very stable. They're not looking for growth so much. And it's just, we know it's going to be good, consistent companies that have good earnings and low debt.
Patrick Mueller, RFC and president of Bella Advisors. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, Nicole.
And we'll talk more about